the Rockets, and I think a lot of people were really excited about their first playoff game here in a long time. And not to mention, it's been a while because even when they were there during COVID, they were in the bubble. So none of the games were played at the Toyota Center. So it's been a while since this city has been able to experience it, go to a playoff game. And last night, they lose 95-85. They lose game one in struggling fashion offensively. Really is where it comes down to. I do have a thought on this, but just overall, you can join this. Get your thoughts in on the Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer text line, 713-572-4610, YouTube and Twitch. Just overall, before we really dive into it, Clint, you watched that game last night. People watched that game last night. What did you take away after that thing ended?
Well, I got a lot here. I got a lot. Look, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the Rockets are not going to win. Hell, they may not win a damn playoff game shooting as poorly as they did.
39%.
Yeah, that ain't going to work. And in particular, Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet, your two predominant ball handlers, cannot be 7 of 34. That's 21% and 2 of 17 from the three-point line, which is 11.8% for those combined 17 points. Like like that, this team, the way they're built right now, regardless of what everybody else does around them, you are, like I said last week, Şengün can have a great game and can be effective on both ends, rebounding, points, whatever. It's going to be tough for the Rockets to win a series with that. To me, it's all about Jalen Green, but when you add Fred VanVleet, who's the other, ball dominant player, they're not going to win a damn game with those two shooting it as poorly as they did. So I think that is the elephant in the room. That's the problem that has to be solved. That's the one that, even as bad as you were last night on the offensive end of the floor,
it may just come from game to game.
Yeah,
streakiness.
And look, here's the thing. That is one that I can look up and I can chalk up to. I mean, they ain't played basketball in 7 days.
You think the time off is?
I mean, I can see young team. What I just mentioned was obviously not Fred VanVleet being young, but Jalen Green in particular. Not shooting the ball really well. Really, nobody shot it well, if we're being completely honest with you. Nobody, the exception of Şengün when he was in the paint, and Jabari Smith a couple times late when he nailed a couple clutch threes. Nobody shot it well. So I think overall, I think I don't have a problem chalking up a lot of the issues to, hey man, off night, not going to happen for 7 straight games. Hey man, 7 days off. Shooting was a little rusty, but I wish I could stop there, Ron. I wish I could stop there. I did not think Ime Udoka was good. We talked about Fred VanVleet. I don't think Fred VanVleet needs to be a predominant ball handler in any game moving forward if you think you're going to give yourself a chance to win. Jalen Green obviously was not good, but he's got the lineup at times that's on the floor when you're down 16 or 18 points. I mean, I don't know where you're going to get 16 or 18 points in general, much less come from behind.
Well, the scary thing, the lineup that really worked
was one of them I'm talking about.
Was one that has less shooting on it,
yes.
Right? Like the Steven Adams being in there.
Yeah.
But like that's the other part is you offensively you're taking more shooting off.
Right. But I'm not. My deal, Ron, was. I feel strongly about like those lineups. I don't give a damn. That's when they came back and they I don't know what the run was, but they came back and got it to within 3 or 4 points. They did it with that weird lineup on the floor, with the lineup that you at one point it was Adams, it was VanVleet, it was Tari Eason, Brooks, and Jabari. And Jabari hit a couple of big shots that got him back. The defense was absolutely tremendous, but I just don't know how. There was a time earlier in the game the lineup was wonky. It was at the end of the first quarter and the beginning of the second quarter when Golden State went on an 18-3 run. I think that's when the game, in my opinion, that's when the game was lost. And it was another one of those weird lineups on the floor for an extended period of time. I just and
it took forever for them to try to, and they just couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah,
like they got back, they closed it in, and they just couldn't get all the way over the hump.
Ron, I just don't see, like, I tip my cap to the ability to get within 3 points the way they did was unbelievable. That's just a testament to the defense. That's a testament to what we've been talking about with Jalen Green. Like, if Jalen Green, if he is just a hair better than he was last night, they got a chance to win that sucker, right? I mean, so
or Fred.
Yeah, either one. Well, I don't expect. Like, I'll be honest with you. I know Fred's got a history and a resume and all that, and pelts on the wall. But this is a Jalen Green show for me. I can't even. I sit there mad as hell. I'm fuming when Jalen Green's on the floor and I'm watching Fred VanVleet get covered by number 51, whoever that is, just getting blanketed by him. I'm like, what are we doing? He can't get around him. He can't shoot over him. He's not, even though he's cold.
But Fred has got to be a part of the conversation, Clint. He took the most shots on the team.
I agree with you. No, that makes it even worse. But I just, the Fred VanVleet thing, I understand.
Did not have that one on my bingo card, Clint, that he was going to lead the team in shot attempt.
Right. Look, if you had some well-oiled machine, Ron, that was a certain offense that you're trying to run and you're trying to facilitate to certain guys, cool, I get it, man. I get the smaller point guard that manages the game. I get it, but you don't have that. I mean, you're all over the map with what you're doing offensively. And it was blatantly obvious when they went Jalen Green and Amen Thompson, and really Amen Thompson was better one, started attacking with the ball, creating opportunities for everybody else. That's how they're going to win this series. Not Fred VanVleet facilitating.
That ball keep ending in his hands to shoot him up late. Yeah. Well, with that, let's look at this then, and I want people to jump in on this.
I know I didn't give. I was all over the map.
That's what it was. No, I mean, I think you gave a lot there, and I think it leads me to this thought of: are the Rockets in trouble, or do you just see this as one game in a long series? So 713-572-4610. Are the Rockets in trouble right now? Did you come away from game one think, damn, they're in trouble, or this is just game one of the series? Because, I mean, I think, like, when you look at around the others, like the Clippers lost to the Nuggets, right? But I don't know that people think the Clippers are in trouble. I think people are like, all right, this is going to be a long series. The Lakers got their asses just waxed by the Timberwolves. I still don't know how many people think that the Lakers are in trouble. Yeah. I think they're in the series. Where are you out of this? Because Clint gave you a lot of the bad. They scored 85 points. And Ime Udoka said, if you score 85 points, you're going to beat a lot of teams, especially they're going to beat Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, who have it going for a game that produced that many points. But you score 85 points, 39% from the field, 6 for 29 from 3. And by the way, we talked about Fred VanVleet. He was 2 for 13 himself. You missed 9 free throws in the game, and you couldn't contain Butler and Curry. Butler goes for 25, Curry for 31. He had 3 the last time you played him. But there was some good, right? You held that Warriors team to under 50%, and they only made 12 threes. This is a team that could go off and get hot. And they were under 100 points. You dominated on the boards, 52-36, and in particular 22-6 when it comes to offensive rebounds, 1 in the paint by 20. So there was some good there as well. But do you get the sense that this team is in trouble? Text line coming in. Trouble, not enough experienced players. Someone said they think they're in trouble. Somebody else, not in trouble. It was some of what we expected and some not so much. Now we'll see what they look like after game 2. So the Rockets will win game 2, but the Warriors have too much experience. So when you came away from that, watching that, did you feel like they were in trouble, or this was just one game?
No, I thought it was just one game. Now, it could end up being a costly game because you played so well on defense and you dominated the boards the way you mentioned. Like, it would not have taken much on the offensive end of the floor to win that game. I mean, you could have scored. I mean, it ended up, look, let's be honest. There was 6 points scored late in that game that had it not got a little sideways right there, wouldn't have been. That'd have been even a lower score game. You could have scored mid-90s and won that game. Yep. I mean, that is the kind of game that you think the Rockets, if you just sit back and go, hey, Golden State, Houston, winner's going to score 95, 96 points, who gets it? You would think the Rockets. I'm giving the Rockets a real good chance in that game. So you hate that you let one slip away where you rebounded so well, where you played so good on the defensive end of the floor. That hurts. But no, I watched that game, Ron, and without a doubt, I feel like the time off, I feel like the bad game, Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, and again, like I said, let's not – I mean, nobody shot it particularly well with the exception of a couple of clutch ones from Jabari and some really good inside play from Şengün. But, no, I walked away with you figure out how to score some points. If those guys have just average nights and you keep playing this kind of defense and keep rebounding the way you're rebounding, then the Rockets can take the series.
Text line coming through. Karen, no, they're not in trouble. They will win the series. trouble, big trouble. We played like garbage and lost by 10. I still think we got this. I'm not gonna say trouble yet, because Clint, this is the sixth time they've played, and I will say 5 out of the 6 games they've played, the pace and how the game is played is in the way the Rockets want to play.
Yeah.
Like they have been all of it. This is another one. They've been under 100 points. They've played a good 3 games where the game finished under 100 points. I know they played one earlier, 91-90, that the Rockets won. Even the other one, I think there's one where they were in the 120s. I think and it's the one the Warriors won, 127-121. But they continue to make the game played in the fashion that they want to play. They were great, not good, great defensively. Now, the place where I could say that they could be in trouble is I think these games are going to be rock fights. Clint, they play 6 times right now, and they have all been this physical and this and this tight. But they played like that, man, and they didn't slow Curry or – like Curry was efficient in this game. They didn't slow Jimmy. Jimmy's in like you can. They got 2 guys that they can go to and get buckets from, right? And that's just and you know there's gonna be a game in this thing where like Buddy Hield or Brzezinski that he like has a night or something. Yeah. That's the only thing is these games are gonna be tight, and like they just did 25 and 31 for those 2 in a game that's in the 80s and 90s. That's problematic.
Well, I mean, Curry got hot and was just hitting absolutely everything, which he has. We know he has.
That one he hit over Green in the corner, and Jalen can't hit anything.
Ridiculous.
That had to been demoralizing for him.
But the to me the story of the Curry part of this, besides him chewing on his mouthpiece the way Tyler hates it, Tyler's carrying around his turd trophy in there. He can't wait to get to, what do we do that Thursday? He can't wait to give away that damn turd, that damn golden turd. But again, Ron, I go back to like what you can't do against Golden State, but Curry, what you can end up doing is when like he started. What was he? Was he 1 for 5 or 1 for 6 from jump? I mean, he wasn't early on in that game. I mean, he's having a rough shot. The problem then is the Rockets on the other end can't separate at all.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So they weathered the storm of him being cold and him being off. And then once he mid-second quarter or whatever it was, once he hit one, it was like, uh-oh. And then it's impossible.
Yeah, because he started off slow a little bit. Once the top is off of that, like
it's hard.
Amen Thompson's a great defender, but he's like that shot he hit over Jalen Green. I mean, Jalen Green couldn't have played better defense.
Yeah.
And he couldn't. But then it's others. I mean, he had some deep ones, some big ones late, and it happened right. That game got tight. The Rockets did everything. You said you got to give them credit. We know they ain't gonna walk out there and hold up a tent. Like they ain't gonna just or pitch one. Well, maybe, but they're I just did that for you, Tyler. Just want to make sure you were aware. But we know that's just not how their makeup is, and they got it back. And I don't think anyone was real surprised that they got it back. But then it got down, Clint, to what the concern is. Is late in games what's going to happen, and late in games. Steph Curry's hitting threes. Jimmy's hitting shots. Steph and Jimmy are setting up Moody in the corner, and the ball keeps finding Fred on the other side going up.
Yeah, somehow, some way they funnel that thing to Fred. Funnel it to Fred, and it was a hell of a plan. Look, I didn't walk away from that game last night. I was mad as hell, but I didn't
go catch it early.
I walked away from that game feeling like we got a shot. That defense was nasty, and I don't think the rebounding was a fluke. Like I think you're gonna be able to dominate the boards.
Hell, Steve Kerr didn't. Steve Kerr said they're going to get offensive rebounds in this series. They're going to.
Yeah, all of that stuff I don't think is a fluke, man. I think you get any level of scoring out of your 2 predominant ball handlers. I think you're going to put some real pressure on Golden State.